Wait a minute, let's count to 10.
And it's 10 a.m.
Go.
All right, good morning, everybody. This is the Coastal Permit Administrator meeting for February 25th, 2021. Let the record show that the meeting is commencing at 10 a.m. on February 25th, 2021. All right, so calling the meeting to order. And could I please get a determination of noticing?
Legal notice has been determined on each matter.
All right, thank you. I'd also like to point out that the first two cases on the agenda, CDP 20-0018 and CDP 2020-0015 are continued items from previous Coastal Permit Administrator hearings. And so we only have one that has not been continued. So with that said, let's go ahead and begin. The first item on the agenda, which was continued from January 14, 2021, is a coastal development permit to construct a 525 square foot control building, install a 15-foot tall VSAT pole, and trench and install cables and conduit. The Elk Substation was built in 1946 and has been in continuous use since. The owner is Pacific Gas and Electric, and the property is located in the coastal zone and the village of Elk on the north side of Philo Greenwood Road, 0.25 plus minus miles east of the intersection with State Route 1, located at 35,720 Philo Greenwood Road in Elk. Assessor's parcel number 127-232-12. This project has been deemed to be categorically exempt under CEQA. And with that, could I please get a staff report?
I want to see Juliana.
This is Julia Krog, and though I look and it does not appear we have Juliana Cherry yet on the line, I believe she's probably getting connected, so I would just recommend maybe we go to the second item on the agenda and then come back to this item.
Okay, that sounds good. I didn't know if she was going to be available or not, but with that said, let's move to the second item, and we'll come back to the first one. And the second item is a continued item. It's a coastal development permit for 3 test wells on an undeveloped parcel. This was continued from the February 11th, 2021 meeting to today. And this project is located in the coastal zone, 4.3 miles northwest of Gullah Town Center, lying on the west side of State Route 1. 0.4 plus minus miles southeast of the intersection with Olson Lane, which is a private road located at 34,550 State Route 1 in Guala. Assessor's parcel number 143-16109. The environmental determination for this project has been determined to be categorically exempt from CEQA. And so with that, could I please get a brief staff report?
Thank you, Interim Director Gonzalez, for the introduction. I would like to say that it's 2 test wells now. The third one was redacted to avoid any potential problems with the neighbor. It was graciously redacted. They didn't technically have to, but they did.
So one thing I'll point out is that since this was noticed for 3, but you're only doing 2, there is no issue. So I just want to point that out for the record. So
Okay.
Go ahead. Sorry to
That's
interrupt.
okay, thank you. The purpose for the test well is to make the property more desirable to a potential buyer when it goes on the market after approval of this project. There were no major concerns for this project. An agency referral request was sent to the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, where no response was received. So as such, no botanical survey is being requested. Additionally, an agency referral request was sent to the Archaeological Commission, where they agreed that no survey was required at the time, as one will be required before any future development can occur. But staff notes that standard condition 8 is in place, the discovery clause, which prescribes the procedures subsequent to the discovery of any cultural resources during construction activities associated with this project. The only other notable item to mention is the parcel is an undeveloped parcel, but it does have water well hookups and meter at the property line. Sheet number 233-W, which is from the Gualala Water District. However, no water may be supplied to the property from them for development because there's a moratorium from the Gualala Water District. But as such, the county does not approve any building permits that want to use the water district's water company's water because of the moratorium. But in addition to that, the Gualala Water Company does not have the authority to deny private wells per the California Utilities Commissions. I just wanted that to kind of be stated. Other than that, with that being said, with the adherence to the conditions of approval, staff recommends approval of this project. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. And with that, do we have the applicant or owner on the line?
Is Dave Thomas part of your case? Matt?
Doesn't sound familiar. I don't know who Dave Thomas would be.
Dave Thomas and Jeanette are with the other item.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So do we have anybody wishing to speak from the public on this item? Case 3B. Seeing none, I will go ahead and return this back to the Coastal Permit Administrator. And Mr. Goins, thank you for the staff report. And again, for the record, this project is only for 2 test wells, not 3, as it's been clarified. So I'm going to ask the clerk that any resolutions or documents should reflect that this CDP is only for 2 test wells. With that said, I will go ahead and approve the project subject to the findings and conditions contained in the staff report. And with that note that this only reflects 2 wells and not 3. All right, so with that said, we're going to go back to item 3A. And this one is for Pacific Gas and Electric is the owner. The project is a standard coastal development permit to construct a 525 square foot control building, install a 15-foot tall VSAT pole, and trench and install cables and conduit. The Elk Substation was built in 1946 and has been in continuous operation since. Project is located within the coastal zone and the village of Elk on the north side of Philo Greenwood Road, approximately 0.25 miles east of the intersection of State Route 1. Located at 35,720 Philo Greenwood Road in Elk, APN 127-232-12, and this project has been found to be categorically exempt from CEQA. Juliana, may I please get a staff report?
Certainly. So this item was continued at the request of the applicant to today's meeting. The project site is on Philo Greenwood Road at the substation that's there. They're doing some upgrades to the facility, including putting in, as you mentioned, the VSAT pole and a new control building. The item was continued because the engineers felt that a slight adjustment in the site plan would be needed. And they resolved that a few weeks ago. So a memo has been posted to the website, and I hope that the CPA has received it. Just the memo includes a revised site plan, a plan showing the difference between what was in the staff report exhibits and the new location. It's just a few feet west of what was originally proposed. So there's no substantive change to the project as it was noticed or to the site plan. The project site is basically a paved property. So there are no adjacent biological plants or animals of concern. There was a Sonoma tree vole survey that found that there were no Sonoma tree voles living in the asphalt. So the project really is avoiding those things. The project site is designated a highly scenic area. And so my recommendation is that these minor additions to the substation will not change the visual aspect of the area. It is a substation and it will continue to be one, has been one since 1941. The project was referred to agencies for comments, and we did receive comments, including from the Northwest Information Center. Initially, their comments were to recommend an archaeological survey report, and I contacted them to just assure them that the site has been disturbed in 1941 and is paved. So they responded with revising their recommendations, and their revised recommendations is that an archaeological survey was not warranted. Therefore, staff did not refer the project to the Archaeological Commission and recommends what is a frequently used condition number, I believe it's 8, that gives notice if cultural resources were discovered. There's procedures in place. The other condition that staff is recommending is condition 9. Which has to do with exterior lighting and the county's goal to have dark skies. So the exterior lighting shall be kept to a minimum. The project was also referred to the local fire prevention group in Elk and also CAL FIRE. Both responded that they support the project. The Elk fire prevention volunteers mentioned that they did not have access to the site. And that is true. PG&E does not provide access to the property until the power is turned off by PG&E. So if there was an emergency, PG&E would want this property to be safe and the power turned off before emergency responders come onto the property. That really concludes staff's presentation. The reason for the continuance was to make minor adjustments to the proposed site plan, and those have been provided to the CPA and are posted on the website. Thank you.
Thank you very much for a very detailed and informative staff report. And with that, I will go ahead and ask the applicant or agent if they have any comments or wish to speak on the matter.
This is Jeanette Dinwiddie Moore, and I have no comments.
All right.
Did a good job.
Mr. Thomas.
Yes, this is Dave Thomas representing PG&E, and I have no further comments.
All right, thank you. Is there anybody that wishes to speak on this matter? I'm now opening it up for public comment.
I haven't received anything.
No public comment, and there's nobody in the waiting room.
No.
All right. So with that said, I'm going to.
Sorry. I see that there's an Anne Marie LaMarche.
Yeah, that's for Julia's matter.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and return it back to the CPA, and the CPA would like to add one additional condition, number 10. And this is not going to affect the project, but merely assist in the review of any plans coming in. And basically, condition number 10 would read, all conditions of approval shall be printed on all construction drawings that are to be submitted to the building division. So what this will do is that it basically now starts to get us into the habit of having all discretionary conditions placed on the building permit application plans that come in for ease of review. It is the director's approach to the department that we try to streamline things as much as possible, and I think having the conditions of approval printed on the construction drawings allow for ease of review and may in some instances cut down anywhere from hours to several days of trying to hunt down conditions. And that's really the only thing I'm adding here. And I'm gonna.
Yeah, we frequently use that condition with another hearing bodies, and I'm happy to facilitate giving a PDF of those adopted conditions to the applicant.
Perfect. That's all I'm asking for is for ease. I think in the long run, it's going to make things much easier for the applicant moving forward. All right. So with that added condition, I will go ahead and I'm also going to ask the applicants if they have an issue with that.
No, I think that's definitely possible. We can do that. Just make space on the drawings and make sure those conditions are there.
Perfect. Thank you. So with that, the Coastal Permit Administrator hereby approves CDP 2020-0018, subject to the conditions and findings contained in the staff report, but adds condition number 10, just merely adding the requirement for conditions of approval to be printed onto the construction drawings. All right, so.
Nash, if I may,
Yes.
perhaps the wording should be the notice of final action printed on the construction drawings, because the notice of final action are the conditions. Just a thought.
All right. How about if we do this? All conditions of approval and notice of final action.
Okay.
Yep. Shall be printed on all construction drawings that are to be submitted to the building division.
Thank you.
And I actually, I understand that this is something that you've been doing with other hearing bodies, and I'm going to go ahead and start moving forward with that as an approach now to all hearing bodies, Planning Commission, Actions, CPA, and then obviously thank you for doing this with MHRB.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, so moving along, we are going to move on to item number 3C, which is a coastal development permit 2116 -0003. Excuse me. Owner applicant is Noel Quinn. The request is a standard coastal development permit to reconstruct an existing single-family residence and construction of a garage storage workshop structure. Associated improvements include connection to utilities and some improvements to the driveway. The environmental determination on this is a mitigated negative declaration. The project is located in the coastal zone, approximately 0.1 plus or minus miles south of Anchor Bay Town Center, 0.5 plus or minus miles east of Getchell Gulch Road, the intersection of State Route 1 and Getchell Gulch Road, which is a private road located at 46,584 Getchell Gulch Road in Gualala. APN 144-060-07. And Julia, could I please get a staff report?
Absolutely. So Julia Krog, Assistant Director. And the site that is under review today is an existing developed site that has a legal non-conforming single-family residence and associated utilities. I do want to note that the existing water source that serves the site is located on an adjacent parcel to the east, but is under the same ownership, and there is a deeded easement to the subject parcel. A significant portion of this site is constrained by environmentally sensitive habitat areas, primarily wetlands and their associated vegetation, and steep slopes on the northwest of the parcel that lead down to Quinlivan Gulch. The parcel is classified and zoned as rural residential with a 10-acre minimum and is consistent with all development standards for the rural residential district. There are no concerns with the project related to adequate utilities, visual resources, archaeological resources, transportation, public access, or hazards management. The bulk of the analysis within the staff report really relates to the environmentally sensitive habitat areas. The primary sensitive habitat that is of concern is the California sedge, which is widespread throughout the entirety of the parcel, including around the existing development. And the density of the sedge changes throughout the parcel, but one of the densest areas is to the northeast of the existing residence and also over the existing leach field. The property owner has encouraged the growth of the sedge over the years by maintaining its habitat clear of debris, so it's really been able to thrive on the parcel. And staff did conduct a site visit and saw that there is sedge everywhere throughout the site. Now, one concern here is that Mendocino County Code requires that a sufficient buffer be established around all identified sensitive habitat. And due to the extent of the sensitive habitat, there is very limited areas on the parcel that need a 50-foot buffer to the identified ESHA. And due to the presence of the ESHA, there was a requirement to complete essentially a report of compliance. And two different project alternatives were evaluated. Alternative A, which is the proposed project, is considered the least impacting alternative, as trenching for connection to the existing septic and water system would not be required. And total coverage of the structures on the site would be approximately 2/3 less than that of the second alternative, Alternative B. There will be some disturbance during construction to the California sedge plants, but as the biologist notes, the sedge plants often occur in areas of disturbance and along logging roads, things such as that. So they're considered very hardy and are expected to recover from the temporary disturbance of construction activities. Mitigation and avoidance measures have been recommended by the biologist and agreed upon by the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. And those are in the end of the staff report. And I've noted the conditions that are mitigation measures with a double asterisk within the staff report. So since the project is not consistent with all local coastal program policies related to sensitive habitat area buffers, there was a requirement to complete a takings analysis to determine whether denial of the project would constitute a regulatory takings. And staff conducted that analysis. The detail is in the staff report. And staff has found that if this project were to be denied, it would constitute a regulatory takings. And therefore, we're recommending approval of the project despite the inconsistency with the local coastal program. So in summary, staff recommends that the coastal permit administrator finds that the environmental impacts identified for the project can be adequately mitigated through the conditions of approval or features of the project design so that no significant adverse environmental impacts will result from the project, and recommends that a mitigated negative declaration is adopted for the project and that the project is approved subject to the recommended conditions in the staff report. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So with that, I will go ahead and ask the applicants or agents to speak on behalf of the project.
You can say something now.
Hi, Julia. I don't know what to say. If you approve it, I'll say thank you. Julia has done a superior job of assessing my intentions.
Well, thank you. She's very, very detail oriented, and I could see that from the staff report.
Oh, that my project is detail oriented?
That Julia did a very detailed analysis, and
Yes.
Yes, everything is spelled out very neatly and orderly. And
Yes.
And so thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. Is that it?
Unless you want to say more. This is your time. This is your airtime.
Okay, well, I don't know what to say. It's been like 6 years, so I'm kind of burned out, and I thank you. that we finally got here.
For your patience.
Well, I guess.
So is there anybody else that wishes to speak on this matter? If not, I'm going to go ahead and open it up to the public. Do we have any members from the public that wish to speak on this matter?
Jewel, I'm not sure who the J. Cuevo family floor is. Do you know?
I am not aware that I have not received any requests to speak on this.
Okay.
I wonder if that might have been related to one of our previous items. Yes, and it would have been. That would have been related to the Graffin project that was.
Okay,
reading.
okay. Thank you.
So if there's nobody to speak on this item, then I'm going to go ahead and return it back to the Coastal Permit Administrator. And thank you for a very detailed report, Julia. So with that, I will go ahead and move to approve the project pursuant to the findings contained in the staff report, including the conditions of approval and adopting the mitigated negative declaration for the project. So, Anna Marie, your project is approved by the Coastal Permit Administrator.
Thank you,
All right.
Josh. That's, I'm sure Noelle will be very happy. It's been many years in the making, so thank
Well,
you.
that's right. She's using somebody else's computer. So it's Noelle. So Ms. Quinn, thank you. Your project is approved. So with that, do we want to let anybody else in?
Can we let them in?
Yeah,
Okay.
Mr. Quevedo?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, which item are you here for?
Graffin, Craig and Jeannie Graffin. I'm with Superior Pump and Drilling.
Okay, the item was already approved.
Oh, great.
Yep.
Man, I signed in 8 minutes late. Thanks, guys.
Well, thank you for being here, but I guess we beat you to the approval.
Great. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Is there anything you'd like to say?
No, if you approved it, we're good to go.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, with that, I'm going to move to item number 4, matters from staff. Do we have any matters from staff?
We have no matters today. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, I'm going to move to item number 5, which is matters from the public. Do we have anybody from the public that wishes to speak on this item?
And I haven't received any correspondence from them.
All right. So with that, move to item number 6 and adjourn the meeting at 10:28 a.m. Thank you, everybody.